Everybody prepared? I guess we haven't heard from Colt, so I suspect.
He is.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Do you have a copy of the questions?
I do not. Dang it. Wait, hold on. I actually might. If I can keep you guys on Zoom doing this. Have I left Zoom?
You're still there.
Still here.
They were sent to us in an email.
Oh my gosh.
I was about to say I'm gonna open the email Jeremy sent me.
Oh, I just texted it to you.
Did you hear that, Colt? Jeremy texted it to you.
I think Cole muted himself. There you go.
Yep, I got him.
All right, so just so we're on board, I'll start, when we do the questions, I'll start with you and you can ask question one and we'll come around by Counselor Hofer after you. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's get this meeting going. Let's call this meeting to order at 5:32. Let us say the pledge. I pledge
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is
Republic of which it is one nation.
liberty and justice for all.
Wow.
Good evening. Good evening, Eileen. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, excellent. Right on. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna start with some questions and I'm gonna let our counselor who's coming in via Zoom ask the first question. And
Introduce
then...
ourselves?
Oh, thank you. Yes, but let's do introductions first. Go ahead, Mr. Colt.
My name's Colt Wilkins. I've been on city council for what, about a year? And I'm interim.
Nice to meet you.
Counselor Howard.
Scott Hover, counselor. I've been on the council twice as an interim member. This is my second term as such. And thank you for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Chris Tycrow, appointed counselor for about 2 years now.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Robin Peterson. I've been on council for not quite 2 years.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Eileen. Annette Frank, we met via Zoom
We
the
met
other
before. Yeah.
day.
Hi, Eileen. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Drew Hildebrandt. I'm the city council president. I've been on councils for about 4 years now.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, I am Kitty Mackin. This is year 10 on council. And I tell dad jokes, he laughs at most of them.
Nice to meet you as well.
All right. Colt, were you able to find the questions?
Yes, I was.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll let you start then, sir.
I thought you were talking to me.
Oh, sorry, Eileen.
It's like questions. I didn't get any questions.
Way to make you panic, right?
Well, sometimes they provide questions and sometimes they don't. So we'll just go with it. So
All right.
All right. So Well, first questions is, what does success look like for you at the 30, 60, and 90-day marks in an interim assignment?
Uh, um. So at 30 days, it's looking like, have I found where the bathroom is and where my desk is, and do I know the city council's first names and stuff like that? It's just really getting to know the city, getting to know the staff, getting to know the council, and if there's anybody, in the community that you would want me to meet right off the bat, I would say that that would be, immediate priority. At 60 days, more of the same, better understanding of what the issues are that are facing the city. A little bit more of, kind of settling in and making sure that I understand what the council wants to do in the time that I'm there. And then after 90 days, I would say, hopefully, we've started the recruitment process perhaps for the permanent city manager, and that I have a firm understanding of what the city's expectations are for that position and what to communicate to prospective candidates. So, I'm available to help, and I would expect to help with the recruitment process, the process itself. So, we would want to, I think by 3 months out, we'd want to start the recruitment process and get going and get the position advertised. So that's kind of what I see in that 30, 60, 90-day time frame.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okey doke. Leadership transitions can create uncertainty amongst staff. How would you assess the organizational morale and build trust with employees during your first few weeks?
Just by making sure that there are, if there's any kind of a regular communication process, check-ins, department head meetings, things like that, that we keep those going. So that the workflow of the organization is not interrupted. It continues to flow how people expect it to flow. I would want to make sure that I, get out and introduce myself to all the staff, and establish regular communication processes like I mentioned. And just really projecting, which is something that I'm fairly good at, is just being able to project that sense of calmness and that we'll be okay. And that I am an interim and I will take care of you in this period of time, and that we will get through it and get the process of starting the recruitment, get that going so that people can see that that process really is starting. So.
All right. On to number 3, what is your philosophy, priorities regarding the city budgeting for our library, parks, and public recreation areas?
I would say at this point in time, it's really to keep things going. It's a new fiscal year. You would have just adopted a budget. So I see in this interim position, my role being to just begin to implement that budget, and take on the projects and the vision that is set by that budget, and just keep the services of the city going.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 4. Tell us about a time when you stepped into an organization during a period of change or instability. What were the key challenges, and what did you do to stabilize operations?
So that was probably Canby, where I was at just before that. They had gone through a series of um, changes that did create instability. And I think I was very effective at coming in and being able to cast or create a sense of calm in the organization. I think I'm pretty calm by nature. And um, and that's what staff really needed, was just somebody who could project that sense of calmness, and we'll get through this. And, as I was saying before, just keeping the regular processes that staff are used to, keeping those going, so that their, that their day is as normal as it can be.
Thank
Mhm.
you. Right. When you enter. Excuse me.
I guess
When
we're
you-
now recording the meeting.
We thought we were already, apparently.
Do you need me to go back and answer any of those questions?
No, it's all
All
right.
right.
All right, when you enter a new organization as an interim executive, how do you identify which issues require immediate attention and which can wait for the next permanent city manager?
That's a great question. I think in my meeting with staff, department heads and staff, that tends to come out. What needs to happen. Um, I can see it in their eyes. What are the priorities that are really bugging them? And they might not even be what you think they are, because, staff might have a good handle on, a major project, for example. But gosh, that interaction that I'm having with my coworker is really bugging me. So, you really need to assess whether, progress needs to be made on that major project, or you have a personnel matter, for example, that you need to kind of, get the employees together and talk it through. So, it really is, I mean, what I would do is, again, sit down and meet with staff and really suss out what are the important priorities and which ones can wait. And and also kind of timeframes. If there's a grant funded project or something that has timeframes associated with it, then we need to get on those as well. So that's how I would go about it. So yeah, just communicate, making sure that there's good communication.
Well said. What unique strengths or experiences do you bring that would help our community navigate this transition period?
Well, I think one strength that I bring is that I have been through a similar transition in Canby, where they were really looking for somebody to kind of, you know, um, calm things down, carry the water while the decision was being made on who the next permanent city manager was. So that's really the important thing, is to make sure that that is attended to. Can you repeat the question, if you don't mind?
No problem.
Yeah.
What unique strengths or experiences you bring that would help our community navigate this transition period?
So again, I think that my strength lies in my calm demeanor, and my ability to really understand what needs to be done in that short period of time. I have lots of experiences. Hopefully you've seen my resume, but I have lots of experience to draw from. Um, and um, and so, I could bring all of that experience to bear. And just, just depends on what the needs of the community are. That, I would just draw from different strength areas that we have. So I would say my strengths are my calm demeanor and my experience to draw from. And my networks. I have quite an extensive network of city managers around the state. I've been president of the Oregon City Managers Association. So if I don't have the answer myself, I know how to go about getting it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. How do you view the role of an interim city manager in preparing the organization for a permanent city manager?
Well, again, I feel like I'm kind of being a broken record. But I think the first priority is to make sure that the organization has what they need in order to keep business going. Whether it's the resources or whether it's just, somebody needs to chat about what's going on that is bugging them or what they need to do in order to have direction on this project or that project. And just kind of settle everybody down so that they feel like they have the direction that they need. If you can attend to that, they will take care of the city. And I think that, understanding what the council expects during the transitionary period of time is an important consideration so that the interim knows what he or she is doing and then that can be conveyed to the organization as well. So, this is where we're going. This is what the time frame is for the transition, letting people know as much as possible, where are we at in the transition and what are the steps that are being taken so that people feel like that they are on board and that they understand the direction that's being taken.
Thank you.
Colt, are you still there?
Yeah, I am. Sorry, I didn't unmute myself.
Would you like to read the last question?
Sure. If appointed, what level of availability could you provide? How long would you be willing to serve? And are there any logistical considerations the council should understand when evaluating the overall cost and feasibility of your appointment? Examples may include relocation needs, temporary housing, transportation arrangements, or limitations on weekly work hours.
So I live in Canby, so I'm relatively nearby. And so I won't need any transitional housing or anything like that. McCray and I have talked about giving about 20 hours a week of effort to this position. And I think we'll just have to see if that's enough or too much or too little. I because of my experience, I don't want to say that I can do the job in half the time. But I do have a lot of experience to be able to draw from. And I think that being able to, make sure I'm at council meetings and make sure that I'm at key meetings of city departments and have check-ins, whether they're Zoom or email or I'm in the office. That again, staff has what they need to be able to answer. The staff has what they need to be able to do their jobs. And if they're doing their jobs, they're keeping the services of the city going. So I see my job as to being, being able to just translate what is the desire and what is the will of the council. And how do we, make sure that that gets conveyed to staff, so that they can keep doing their job. So.
Thank you.
Okay.
Jeremy Rocio, did you have any questions you wanted to pose?
No, I will say that Rocio and I will say that Eileen McRae, Carmichael, McRae is the other person joining us tonight. They were gracious enough to join us, Rocio and me, for lunch a couple of weeks ago in Salem, to talk about this in the community a little bit more, so just wanted you to be aware of that.
So, fantastic. She's already networking.
I'm sorry I did not introduce McRae. I didn't know if you knew her already, so.
I could not recognize her. I just thought she was a Dayton resident listening in.
Eileen, do you have
I
any
just-
questions?
I'm sorry, go
Do you have
ahead.
any questions for us?
I think my question is really, when do you want to get started on the recruitment for the permanent position, and what are your expectations for the interim?
So I would say it's much of what you said is to keep business going. To sort of deduce what's needed now versus what can wait until we have a permanent city manager.
Mhm,
And to really focus on getting that city manager that we need in position
mhm,
as soon as possible.
mhm,
Though those are the biggest priorities, I would say.
mhm.
So I don't know if anybody else has anything to add. Yes. Counselor.
I didn't mention, and I should, that right now the COG is working on a recruitment for the city of Donald, so they will be looking for a city manager as well. And I have been assigned that project. And so that is something that I would need to continue working on. But what I could also say is that we're just at that point where we're, identifying what are those key characteristics that Donald needs for its city manager. And so I'm just in that headspace right now of what are those, key characteristics that Dayton would want for its next city manager as well. So.
Might work out just fine then.
I have another question, Eileen. If you don't mind, you talked a lot about Candy, but you were a city manager in Sisters for 11 years, and that
Yes, I was.
And that town is more similar, I think, in size to us.
Correct.
Do you draw any comparisons or any glean anything from that job?
Oh, certainly. Yes. Yes, I do. In terms of the recency, obviously, and the amount of organizational change in a short period of time. That's why I mentioned Canby. But I was in Sisters for 11 years, and the city at the time was, the Central Oregon real estate market was really just heating up at that point in time. And Sisters did not have a sewer system. And so they had just installed one with the help of the state of Oregon Public Works funds. And so it was almost like a constraint, that Sisters was set to grow once that sewer system was in. And it did. And for several years there, Sisters was the fastest growing city in the city or in the state, even though it was like, wow, we grew 100 people, but we grew more than somebody else did. And so there was a lot that was done, a lot of master plan work, a lot of transportation planning work, a lot of community development work, a lot of team building, a lot of vision setting that was done over the years. And, everything that the streetscape project that was done, everything that you see in Sisters today, the foundation of that was laid while I was there. So I'm very proud of the work that I did in Sisters, but it's, yeah, it's several years ago now, so it's not the immediate thing that I think of, but I'm very proud of the 11 years that I spent there.
Thank you. I wanted to hear it from you because it seems.
The Eileen Stein roundabouts.
Yes, those two roundabouts that are now in Sisters were also on the transportation
They're
system
brilliant, by
we
the way.
adopted way back in the day. So, yeah. So if you like them, I'll claim credit. If you don't,
Blame the council.
that was a series of decisions that had to be made. The transportation system plan again was adopted. And the city really needed to decide how it was going to allow traffic to flow through town. And whether it was going to continue to rely on Cascade Avenue, which is the main drag in Sisters, or if it was going to use Cascade and Hood as a couplet. And so that decision had to be made first before we figured out how we were going to accommodate traffic on either end. So anyway, you have to make this project or this decision before you make that decision, before you make that decision. So that also goes back into, factoring into how decisions are made, what needs to be done first, what can feasibly be done first. And what order do you have to take things in? So the other thing that I'm working on for the COG, I should also mention, is the Yamhill County Regional Water Plan. And that is, that's definitely a kind of a 1-2 phase kind of a project. So, phase one will be the feasibility study of even looking at what is possible, what is technologically possible. Technologically, yeah. And then we'll get into the governance piece of it and what is politically feasible. So something might be technologically feasible, but it might not be politically feasible, or vice versa. So
That you notice the difference.
oh yeah, definitely there is a difference. Yeah. So whether or not I get this position or not, I will be working on that project, helping out with keeping that project going. So
Well, we're a part of that to some
I know.
degree. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of, started looking today at the website and realizing that, you've got projects where we need to attend to this intertie and how are we going to, provide our water service in the long term. So you've got some great projects and some great needs, and I applaud you for, for your work, the work that you all do. So. Yeah. It's an exciting city. There's a lot to do there. Yeah. So.
It is.
Mhm.
All right. I think we're done. All right. Thank you, Eileen, for your time.
Thank you.
We'll
It's nice
be
to meet
in
you
touch.
all.
Nice to meet you too.
Two.
Okay.
Have a wonderful evening. Thank
You too. Take care. Good luck on your decision.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We're going to adjourn for 10 minutes so I can go potty for reals too. Right, we are back at 6:06. And I guess we need to talk semantics.
So I feel like there's a question that we need to answer with your help, Jeremy, and all of us, the conversation we need to have. Is this job possible with part-time? Because we have some strong part-time candidates and some strong full-time candidates. I guess my question is, if it was a half-time or whatever person, would we be able to have some funds to contract some of the work out that you're doing, if you're really doing the job of a couple of people, at least? So I guess I need you to speak to that, or someone else to speak to that. I don't feel clear myself on whether, because at first I thought, no way, a part-time person could never do this gig, so.
I believe it is workable. However, you should be prepared if you want a part-time city manager to reduce city hall open hours. And we will need to get some other forms of support for things like code enforcement and building permits. If we don't have that additional support, then we're not gonna have code enforcement until a permanent city manager is in here and settled. And then we would have to look at just having the permit counter open a limited time of the week. So it's workable as long as we understand there are trade-offs. And a part-time interim city manager is going, we're gonna be in a caretaker phase at City Hall. That means any additional projects or tasks, we can't do them.
Yeah.
Anything that adds workload to staff, we can't do it. Any events that staff have usually been a part of planning, like National Night Out, we can't do it. And I think that approach, one of the benefits is it will generate quite a bit of savings for the city. And you can use those savings to undergo a professional recruitment process.
That's the other question for the recruitment of the permanent city manager. Are we gonna have the funds to use some sort of agency to help us? Or are we going to be reduced to just doing it all ourselves?
If you have a part-time interim city manager, I believe you'll have the savings to where you could pay $15,000-$20,000 for recruiting effort. If you have a full-time interim, that process can be done in-house.
And how is the workload on staff if that's done in-house? And how does that disrupt our regular services? Or will it?
If we have a part-time or a full-time,
A part-time, or if we had a
If
part-time,
it's full-time, it'd be in-house, but the part-time.
yeah, if it's a full-time, how would the in-house compare to the part-time in terms of staff? Are they gonna be having to be pulled away from their regular work to help with the recruitment process?
if it's full-time staffs, if you have a full-time interim city manager,
Right,
staff's involvement in the recruitment process will be using Canvas, which is our design software to develop recruitment materials. They'll also play a logistical role in setting up interview meetings and getting snacks and all that stuff.
so they will have additional duties outside of their regular.
Yes, but I believe it'll be minimal and the city interim will be driving most of that process. If you have a part-time interim city manager, we are not gonna have the capacity all to do that task.
Out of curiosity, how much did Jensen cost when we contracted with them last time?
It was about 26,000, and that still took staff. So either way, it's gonna take staff.
Okay. Councilor Hogan.
So if we go to a part-time, why aren't you cutting back on city hours, like front desk hours? Why wouldn't we have?
I have to oversee those sometimes citizens. Not only does Ricky have to deal with citizens, but we have to be available. For citizens to talk to me, if citizens, like I had at 5 o'clock, a citizen come in with a building permits that they wanted me to look at.
Well, we could reduce building permits, but still leave the office open for business, just general Dayton business for people to walk in and do. I mean, there could be some kind of hybrid job in there that wouldn't actually, I really feel bad about closing the doors on our actual office. The fact that we're not even open on Fridays has been a hit. So I would hate to see that deep. Actually, having a door you can walk in and see Ricky is a bigger deal than people think.
Keep in mind, that's not gonna last forever. The sooner we get a full-time city manager in place, that's all gonna change. It's
Sure.
temporary.
Right. But
So a temporary thing shouldn't make us determine.
But I think that people are gonna respond to it temporarily being at 6 months of what Jeremy said. We're looking at 6 months of reduced city hall hours where you're not even gonna find a body in there, but what, 2 days a week now, 3 days a week? I'm just saying, from what I've heard from the people in this community and I talk to on a regular basis, they didn't like it when they lost Fridays and they mutter about that to this day. So.
Sure, Mayor. Also, if we do that, that reduces the hours of the city staff, correct?
No, the city staff will still.
They'll still be.
They'll still be
They'll still be
working, okay.
working. I mean,
Just the doors
that's,
are closed.
as it is with Ricky's workload, we've already been talking about. Like once every other week or so, opening late, just so that she can get caught up.
When you're disrupted many times
Yeah.
during the day,
Yeah.
it's very hard to get your regular stuff done, believe me, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Make-
Yes.
So is it hard to find? We've talked, we just mentioned, yeah, you could contract someone to do code enforcement, building permits or whatever. Is it, are those people out there? Like someone that we could
City of Newburgh,
contract with to do code enforcement?
We're only contracted with Newburgh to do our permit inspections and all that jazz. And that would probably, we could probably add that to that thing, I would think.
The process right now, they contact you, you contact Newburgh.
For building permits.
For building.
Yeah, so an applicant submits their application in our report. I review it, I collect the fee, and then I push it on over to Newburgh.
And they're the ones doing the on the ground inspections and all that.
May I jump in?
Yes.
So it seems like we're kind of weighing, it seems like one of the main things that is affecting this decision is whether we can do recruitment in-house or externally. Because I think a full-time position that we then still have to contract out, like, we just don't want to do, right? If we're paying for a full-time position, we
Oh,
want to
right.
contract that in-house.
Mhm.
So it seems like one of the conversations we need to be having is which of the full-time candidates do we trust with that recruitment process?
Good point.
Because, you know, if, to me at least, if that's a requirement from us, then anybody who we feel cannot, you know, run that is just out of the picture. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Kitty?
Oh, I just had an idea I wanted to throw out there. Could we skip the interim? Are any of these candidates interesting enough that they could maybe stick around for a couple of years? Seems to me I heard 2 of them say, well, I'll stay as long as it takes. What if we try working with them so that we don't have to do one change and then another one within the next 6 months?
I think the only one that said that was Gretchen.
I thought Krista said it.
No, she didn't, she said she still has obligations.
Oh, that's right, she's the one, but Gretchen, wasn't she one of your favorites or something?
Yeah, she was the one that's from Florida.
Okay.
Fort Lauderdale, who's managed or part of that.
Broward County.
I'm thinking,
Oh, yeah, right, okay.
Can you imagine spring break?
Mhm.
Is there any chance we could go there and then we don't have to do the transition and do this again? We've already spent the money.
Can I actually comment on that? real
Yes.
quick? I think that for us and for her, I think we want to view this as going through the process. But then if she starts working in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days in, we're like, okay, we'd love to stick with you. Then we have that conversation, but I don't think we should bank on it.
And she did, I don't think she wants to do that right away either until she
Yeah.
has an opportunity to step in as interim,
Yeah.
to feel it out.
I think there's like a bonus, like star to that possibility, but I don't think it should be what decides our decision.
I think
But I
that,
do think it's very valid.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
I think that an interim position is a really important moment for an organization, because you have to reflect a lot on what you're looking for and what you need and what you want. And so I think entering this as an interim position, and yes, maybe down the road, we go, are you, in other words, they're, just because they have accepted an interim position doesn't mean they're off the list for the forever job.
Yeah.
But I think you want to come into this as an interim with the focus of that. Who are we? Where are we going? What's important? Get things lined up and stacked up and caught up. I think that's really, really, really an important thing for organizations.
Yeah.
Schools or whatever.
Are you talking about the normal everyday activities that need to be done?
Yeah, getting everything done, but also making sure that where we're going and what we've been doing.
Whoever's the
Still-
interim is very
Still driving
honed in on that.
on what do we really want, and she talked about.
Well, that's
what
why I
our last
like
candidate,
Eileen.
me too, because she talked a lot about the staff, about paying attention to the staff and, making eye contact with them and seeing what is important.
No, Eileen, this last candidate, I liked her too because of that, and I really liked that she thought a lot about the staff.
I do
think
too,
that's important.
that's just so important. And
Gretchen did the same thing. She also talked about making herself available to the community, which impressed me very, very.
Yeah, I like
Being
her.
interacting with the community, so.
Oh, I just want to jump in here just so everybody has accurate information. Krista Miller did say that she'd be willing to commit as long as needed and potentially for permanent appointment. So just wanting you to be aware of that.
Yeah, I remember that.
So kind of diving in a bit more on like the, individuals side of this, I think with Eileen, I really enjoyed the conversation today, but I think it just really comes down to that. Are we comfortable with contracting out and part-time, or we want to stick, I think that's questionable.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to bring it up first.
Well, for me, it's not a big deal that she's part-time, and the reason is because it's temporary. She's very well educated and has tons of experience. She has anybody and everybody she can reach out to for any need she has. And she just has a calmness, like a motherly kind of calmness that I think is good for this transition, particularly for staff, since they've been through a whole shiitake stuff.
But she's only gonna be there 20 hours a week for the staff. That's another part.
And, while in this conversation, in this meeting, we cannot talk about compensation for the applicants, we do know that the Jensen, thing at the time cost us 26,000, and we'd be staring down the barrel of a $25,000 to $30,000 expense for outsourcing the hiring. So, we can talk about that, right, I assume, which did. So, that's kind of weighing heavy on me right now in this conversation.
Just costs, yeah.
Not the personnel side of it, but the outsourcing of that. For the hire.
So am I hearing that you like the idea of a full-time interim so that we do the in-house hiring?
I do, and I think one of the things that swayed me on that was the commentary on the last one, if Jensen still required staff time. So it's not like, working with an outside source is going to eliminate the staff time. It's still gonna be there. It's just another $25,000 to $30,000 for everything else. So personal opinion, I'm leaning away, plus like the closing city hall, like the things are stacking up to me, leaning away from the part-time. But if the council as a whole is like, no, this is the right person and I can get on board with it, but that cost is just weighing on me right now.
Yeah, I hear you. I have a question with COG. Do they do they give us resources for,
Yes. they do.
names, recruitment? I mean, are they a resource for us? Whether we use that or not, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They'd be a resource for a full-timer too.
That's kind of what.
We got Rochelle through the call
I've asked them to prepare a proposal.
way back when, as the finance director, we did.
We also had a city manager hired.
Did you guys hear what Jim?
We had a couple sitting down.
I'm sorry, we had multiple conversations going on, that's my fault, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I did ask the COG to prepare a proposal for improvement process. I anticipate their proposal would be less expensive than from a private firm.
Oh, there would be a fee on that.
Yes. Everything is equal to cities.
What are we talking ballpark?
I don't know.
So you've asked them to give us the bids essentially.
Yes.
We haven't managed to do it, bring this to say. I mean, so do we all know who we want, who we feel would be the best candidate? Each and every one of us, or have we not decided that? I mean, if we could just explain why we want a candidate and what motivates in that, are we at that point in this conversation?
A pivot on that a little bit, who was in person for all three interviews? Okay, so personal opinion, because I wasn't at the one on Thursday. I'd actually like to maybe ask the four who were present.
Did you not watch the video?
I did, but there was also a little bit of a reporting issue with the first half of it.
But first, they missed 3 questions in the first half.
Right.
Yeah,
But I don't know, I think there's just something different about like being in person versus just watching it, so personal opinion, but.
What's the question?
Oh, just what was your perspective on all three sets? Like your question, but like starting with.
Your perspective on the 2 on Saturday or Friday, is that what we're asking? Because that's the only one that nobody else has been.
Cause you and I weren't at the one on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
We're here today.
yeah, I guess that's it, it's just asking about the one on Thursday.
And that was what? That was
That was
Gretchen?
Gretchen and Krista.
Yeah.
Gretchen and Krista were both strong candidates, I thought. Gretchen is kind of one of my favorites, just her solid knowledge of large and small projects. Of course, as a teacher, I'm always drawn to people that are teachers. She's a lawyer, she's really experienced at grant writing. She's done a lot of personnel stuff. She's friendly, she's confident. But Krista, I liked her empathy for the little guy. I liked her willingness to do boots on the ground. But her experience is more many short interims, which maybe is great in terms of
I don't think
her
she has. the
giving us
experience.
that. But so I thought Gretchen is an executive feeling person. And will take control of the office, but at the same time, I sensed that she would be a good listener to the staff and to us. Focusing on what we think is important.
I agree. She was very attentive. She dissected the questions and answered them thoroughly. That impressed me. She was also she talked a lot about setting up success for the incoming manager. So
Yeah.
and she said that often,
Yeah.
but understood the approach with the staff. I mean, she laid it out. She was very professional. The one thing that kind of turned me off on Krista was actually in her resume. And it was some of her comments that she made about almost a blaming type vibe to it. And that immediately kind of was like, well, and then the short terms.
The short terms, yeah.
So is she from Lakeview, Washington? Or was she the city manager of Lakeview, Oregon?
She's temporary, not even working. It's a volunteer position right now, in Minco, whatever.
That's what I thought. So do we all know what happened in Lakeview?
And she was in Toledo and Lakeside. And I will say, I looked up a little information and
Lakeside.
found some information. I won't defer all over the thing, but it wasn't very positive.
And all this time I've been thinking Lakeview, so.
No, it's,
Lakeside.
Big, big different.
yeah.
So jumping away from them real quick, with Eileen tonight, I understand, I'm kind of tossed up where she's got a lot going on.
Mhm.
But there's also a lot of benefit to what she's doing on the outside. And I hear what you said about having the open door for the community. But it also gives our staff time to get caught up and not feel so pressured in a way when the doors are closed and they get things done. So those are the things I'm thinking.
That's kind of a good setup too for the next city manager, the permanent one, to come on, because they'll be in a place that's solid as opposed to trying to run all over the place.
Right.
I do wanna say on the record, well, sorry,
No,
I just wanna say thank you, Jeremy, for 5 really strong candidates.
Yes.
I wanted that to get on recording.
yes.
Sorry, Kim.
I was kind of going on the fire. Krista and Christie both had some passion behind them. It felt to me like they would hit the ground running and fight for Dayton. But I'm not sure that overall, especially with what I've been hearing, bringing somebody back who was here before might not be the best idea. Although we have a new mayor, we have a new council, we have the resolution of inclusiveness, so the one thing the mayor brought up wouldn't be a problem anymore. But it does appear that Gretchen came through as the best choice for a number of people. I was not impressed with one or two of them overall. There just didn't seem to be enough fire in there.
May I ask, is it okay to ask who?
Keith didn't have fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for me, Krista, she might have said the words, but she was faking a laugh. She came across very at first.
To try to stay to the positives in this journey
Yeah.
instead of in the,
I'm not trying to, but we're talking about the ones, okay,
Right.
so, but that, I'm just saying, that's why I didn't care for that particular candidate.
So,
Okay.
the things that are kind of, if we go back to our like crux piece of this of, okay, if we want to look at a full-time, we really want to try to look at bringing a hiring procedure in-house. You know, I look at both Gretchen and Krista, and I worry that the experience is not there to run that in-house. Would be my concern with these two individuals in particular.
With who, Gretchen?
With Gretchen.
Gretchen.
7,000 employees.
Why
Right,
would Gretchen
now-
be able to?
In Fort Lauderdale, he's.
She was working for Broward County, she can run circles.
Assistant county administrator, yeah. 2016, 2019.
Yeah, that's sweet, that's Fort Lauderdale spring break, man.
Yeah, she was-
And Broward County is
Yeah,
a huge county.
It's right next to Miami.
Executive director of a huge county for a long time.
She could do it, there's no doubt about that.
Fair. Okay, that's good enough. So then the other two then, so Keith and Christy. Okay, so Krista, I think that based off of what I'm hearing, we don't think that there's necessarily the experience there to be able to run a like in-house transition.
Right.
Okay, so Christine Keith.
Keith is not for me.
Okay.
I don't know about anybody else.
I think just the travel
Yeah,
back and forth is gonna.
Yeah, 'cause she said she was gonna keep her position in.
So if I'm gonna choose full-time, it would be Gretchen. If I'm gonna choose part-time, it would be Eileen.
I think I'm there too. I really liked Keith's experience and his
Oh, yeah,
work in
sure.
Olympia and in Salem, really
Yeah.
spot on, 40 years of experience. But the logistics of living in bed doesn't work for me. So that, I thought he was amazing, but I think that doesn't work. So for me, I'm agreed with you, Mayor, that if we go full-time, I would like it to be Gretchen, and if we went part-time, I'd like it to be Anna.
I'm not in favor of part-time. So,
I second that. I don't want a part-time person.
I think I'm feeling that way too. I'm feeling like a full-time person.
And I'm only, I like the part-time idea only because with Eileen and I too.
With
Part-time,
our
Eileen, with her skill set,
Yeah.
with who she's connected to,
That would
that's
be
gonna give
the
us a lot of
Yeah.
access.
resources,
Yeah.
resources.
We're still connected to Amcog, so we're still connected to a lot of blue sheets.
Yeah, but she's right there.
Yeah.
And she's working on the water stuff that
Right.
we're gonna be getting into, which might benefit us because she's the one working on it.
And it gives the staff that breathing room. When the door.
There is that breathing room
So
for them
I'm-
to get caught up.
I'm 50-50 on that because of the open door for the community, but the
True.
breathing room for the staff, I think is massively important as well.
I also think that if we explain to the community, you know, that the closing times, if we do go with the part-time, it would be temporary. I mean, we have to make that very clear that this is a temporary thing. We're not taking services or anything away from you. We just need to get some things organized to get a new city manager.
I wonder what Cole has to say about all this. Well, Counselor Wilkins.
I don't, is he there? He's there.
Oh, oh, there I am. I actually kind of like the idea of Eileen too for part-time. Otherwise, I'm actually fully with you, Annette, on oh God, what was her name? Gretchen? Yeah. But I could see why it swings either way.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
One thing for us to think about is, because it's actually something we touched on the mayor, which I didn't think about till just now, is community perception. You know, it's the city hall being open is one thing, like, you know, all the things we've mentioned, but there is an overarching goal this year that we've really beat the hammer on, and it's getting this levy passed. And city hall being inaccessible through a time period where we're trying to pass this, trust is already a little bit rocky on some things. And so if trust is eroded further in any way, I continue to worry about the risk of that passing, becoming just a riskier proposition. I think somebody full-time in the seat, you know, who's present, if we're looking at that overarching goal, I think gives us a better shot at it passing. I just worry about us, it's not absenteeism, but perceived absenteeism from the community. It's already hard to get our message out, whether it's Ferry Street News, you know, the many ways like coffee, things like that, you know. We as individuals, we form our own assumptions and our own opinions really easily, as humans. And I think that, you know, the risk of perceived absenteeism and, you know, quote unquote mismanagement from somebody, you know, who's part-time, the city hall partially closed, I worry about that being a runaway train. I know it's not gonna be the case, but it's really hard for us to make that argument, you know, to the folks who aren't listening, except for seeing, when can I get what I need? And if the doors are closed and they can't get what they need, I think it's really easy for people to form their own opinions. So I would really, the more that we kind of talk about it, the more I'm kind of concerned about the part-time concept. Also, are we allowed to talk about availability at this moment in time?
Yeah.
Okay, so isn't Eileen there's a month where she's completely virtual. right?
No.
That's right.
Gretchen.
October, November.
Oh.
October, November.
That's when we're past
But-
levy.
However, she said she doesn't want to because it's an obligation she made in past, but if she said if she has to, she would put it aside. If that's, and I mean, if she's gonna be here that long, then she might be able to find out.
She also is open for available to work virtually during that time.
Yeah, she's virtually available, so.
We'll put her on the jumbotron.
Yeah. Right in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
It might,
MMA is done.
Yeah.
no, it might be that the office needs to have some reduced hours, maybe after the levy vote.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't wanna go to, I hadn't thought of that, thank you for bringing that up, you know, so muddle through up to the levy vote and then maybe give the office some breathing space after, when she's not in there,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a little bit scary.
Well,
He's planning to live in Dayton, which is nice, really nice.
oh, Gretchen did say she would be here.
That's, yeah, that's what I mean.
The more we talk about it, the more I'm leaning towards a full-time position personally.
Well, I'll entertain a motion if anybody's ready.
Do we wanna go around one by one and state our preference?
I think that's a good idea. You gonna kick us off?
Well, you know, I really wanna make sure this isn't about what my want is my will, but really what we want as a city and that the will of the council and the involved parties are involved. I've looked at everybody to the best of my ability and where I wasn't here. But I'm with you guys for a part-time position. I think Eileen would be fabulous. She brings a lot to the table, but I really lean towards a full-time position with Gretchen. I really liked her a lot. I liked her connectedness and her, and if you can be in a place like Fort Lauderdale for as long as she was in that huge county with all those, you know, $2 billion budget and still be a human being after all that. You know, I really think that says a lot for her. So that's my choice if we do decide to go full time.
Yeah, I lean towards Eileen, no pun intended. I think there's a lot of benefit, the one hurdle is the visibility to the community. That's the one thing that kind of pushes me away from her a little bit. I am concerned with Gretchen because she is so used to this larger group that coming into a smaller area, I don't know how that would, I mean, she might be brilliant at it. I did love her personality. I liked again how she just dissected every question. She understood. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Jeremy.
Mhm.
Maybe I should change mine.
So, yeah, I am personally split right down the middle between the two.
Yeah.
I think I would prefer a full-time, yes. I just agree with all of that, I'm kind of split, but I think having a full-time person in the room, in the building is where I am leaning just barely. Cause I understand the advantages of having Eileen on. So I guess, push comes to shove, I would choose Gretchen as my first choice and Eileen a strong second if we wanted to contract out some work.
Counselor Wilkins? Your preferences?
I'm kind of with the other three, and I would lean more towards Gretchen because I would look more towards a full-time than a part-time position.
All right. Thank you.
I think if I take the people out of it and I just look at the positions themselves, and specifically, I know I keep harping on this, but specifically the full-time, search, a part-time plus a contract for searching versus a full-time and being able to do that in-house. I'm leaning full-time and being able to do that in-house. I think it offers us so much more flexibility.
Yep.
Counselor Mackin?
Full-time, and Gretchen seems to be the one.
Mhm.
So we need a motion for,
I move that we
offer.
offer the position to Gretchen, and I have forgotten her last name at the moment.
Cassini.
Cassini, okay, that we.
I'll second it.
Oh, right on. I have a motion from Counselor Mackin and a second from Counselor Wilkins.
Would you like to finish the motion?
Is there any more discussion? All those in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. We have our candidate that we would like to offer the interim position to. All right.
Yeah.
Is there any other discussion we need to have tonight, Jeremy, or we'll have some more special meetings?
Does anybody have any evenings?
Get out our calendars, I
No.
believe is what.
What are
the
your thoughts
instruction is.
available?
I would need to look at specific days, cause I got a lot.
Just this Thursday and Friday. I won't be there.
I won't be available the rest
Well,
of the.
Friday's Independence Day, and it's the holidays. You're definitely not gonna be available, dude. We got the fireworks.
So if we did, because we're off all day on Friday at my work, I could do it during the middle of the day. But I can't do it in the evening because I will be doing fireworks stuff.
Yeah, I won't be
And-
available, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all right.
Let's just, what about, let's just look at the sixth.
Okay,
Can we get at least a quorum on the sixth?
I could do
yeah, I can do this thing.
Yes,
6:30, not 5:30.
Evening, this 5:30, 6:31.
Yeah, that's fine.
I could do 6:30, I couldn't do 5:30.
6:30 is already smoking.
Got that?
So July 6th at 6:30.
Isn't that our normal meeting anyway?
no,
Mhm.
No? Okay.
our normal
13.
meeting is the
July
13th.
it is,
13, okay.
Fine with me.
would be it, but not in July.
Huh. Go figure.
Usually people are on vacation.
Yeah,
Uh,
although I
Oh.
thought the tradition was the third Wednesday. First and third, or Mondays, actually. We're doing it on the second Monday.
What are we?
The third, talking about the city council meeting on the 13th.
Yeah, isn't that the second Monday?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
already sampled.
Yeah, it's different from our normal first and third schedule. I'm not arguing it, just making note that our work sessions are normally the third Monday. And this one is different. In the past, the July meeting has been on the third Monday. So,
While we're talking about dates, I need to let council know I'll be out of state July 21st to the 28th. And then August 24th to the 27th.
Oh, I will be available Zoom August, if we do August. Was it
August
second, third? Yeah, I'll be available for Zoom on that day.
So July 6th, we're on for that, is that the thing? Okay,
That's a thing.
that's a thing. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you. I move that we adjourn.
I second.
All right, we are adjourned, 6:44. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, have a good night.
You as well.
I'll see you.